Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And we're just, by special request, going to do a game of Axis and Allies Europe. This is the 1999 version of it. I do have a little bit of a strategy walkthrough of the game on another video, but this will be the first gameplay video of it. And so for those of you who are not familiar with this game, there's a couple of really neat things in it. The first is the Middle East, and the Middle East is kind of cool. It's worth $8 if you get all of it. And what those $8 do is that the Allies have to decide amongst them if Germany goes in there and starts taking them. Like if they take Egypt, it's worth $1. And then the Allies have to decide who's going to give that dollar to the Germans. So it's not paid from the bank, it's actually paid from the Allies. And then if Germany is fortunate enough to take all 8, well, it's quite a bit of money going from the Allies side to the Axis side. It's a $16 dollar swing. So that's one of the interesting things. The other is, excuse me, is the Convoy Zones here. These are the first ones that came up in Axis and Allies games, and essentially you just pop any sort of a warship in any of these and it takes away that money until that is cleared. So that's important. The dollar value of everything here, little elevated. This is kind of harkening back to the original Axis and Allies. You'll see tanks share 5, which is nice, but they attack at a 3 and defend at a 2, so there's that. So you got to be ready for that. You also cannot build industrial complexes in this game. So what you got is what you got, which really hinders Germany, because Germany has in Berlin and northern Italy, but that is it. And so they've got to keep a steady stream of stuff going into Russia, because Russia has 4 factories, and if Germany does take a factory, they can produce 1 thing out of each factory. So even if they take 3, they can only build 3 and 3 units. So they have to be very careful. Russia has an absolute glut of infantry, and they actually have a goodly number of tanks as well. They start out with 6 tanks, which is, that's pretty impressive. The Germans start out with 13, but it's quite an impressive amount of tanks. Again, though, they're only the same as infantry in defense. So the Russians tend to use them as an attacking weapon, and then head back to building men. The other neat thing to point out is that Germany has 10 U-boats to start the game, which is can be a real pickle. And like some of the other Axis and Allies games, the Archangel Convoy here is very important. So if Archangel falls, that's the one with the factory up there. If that falls, then this convoy also goes. So kind of a double whammy for the Soviets. So we'll do the first round and we'll get back to you and let you know how it went. Alright, we are done round 1, and wow, some really interesting dice rolling and some interesting maneuvers by folks, and we're gonna get right to it right away here. I guess we'll start with Klaus. Klaus, how did the German turn go here?
Ja, und it was very successful, and our U-boat fleet handed out significant losses to the enemy. And we also took the Baltic states and Bessarabia. Yeah, and we also took the little tiny island of Malta, and we lost nothing. So that was very good. I'm thinking this is nice to take and get rid of that pesky British Spitfire, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think that caused you guys a lot of problems in the real war.
What do you mean, the real war? This is a real war.
Okay. We also have the U-boats. Now, you built some last turn, right?
Yeah, and we built 2 shiny U-boats there for the German factory. Yeah, but we still have the 5 out here.
Didn't you have 10 to start the game?
Yeah, that is a stupid question. Next one, please.
Well, yeah, you did wreak a lot of havoc, but it looks like the Allies are pumping a lot of money into destroyers. The British bought 2 there, and the Americans bought 2. as well as some bombers. I think your U-boats might not be long for this game. But I guess we'll see what happens in the next couple rounds. Ivan, looks like the Russians are kind of taking a stand there on Leningrad. You want to talk about that?
He's not so much a standing as we're just sitting around waiting for the pesky Germans to come by and try to invade, and whatever they do, we have more men than they have bullets, so he's okay.
All right. Well, I see you've got your tanks marshaled in the rear here, so I think that's probably a good idea. So you can counterattack.
Of course, it's a good idea. Comrade Stalin would not lead us down a what you're calling it, a rosy path.
Yeah, something like that. You did lose a little bit of territory here, but I can't help but notice there is a U-boat in the Soviet convoy, so you're down 4. So I think you only collected 19 last turn, is that correct?
Yeah, this is correct, but we can also build men cheaply. They're only 3 rubles each, so we are making 6 next time. He's okay.
Oh, well, I hope so. I think the Germans are tooled up pretty big here, coming at you. And even in the Middle East here, looks like they can possibly do some damage. But I guess we'll see. Nigel, maybe we'll start over here. What are you thinking down here?
Yes, quite, yes. The Middle East is a bit of a pesky situation, but I believe we have things well in hand, and our wonderful British lads should be able to take care of those nasty Huns, and freedom will reign. This man is so silly, it does not rain in the desert. Crazy man.
I don't think that's what he's talking about, but I did see that you built some stuff up here in Canada. It's a good thing you have that factory there. Good old Canada, isn't that great? What a great country.
Quite, yes, we do love the colonies. They're very quaint.
All right, and America? Well, what's going on here, Haas? What do you figure's going on here? Well, what we got here is we got ourselves a bit of a problem with them U-boats, and so we built ourselves some destroyers and some aircrafts to head on over there and put them in a world of hurt, and then we're going to start shuttling good old US of A equipment on over, and we're going to liberate the likes of France and Netherlands and the Hollands and them other ones. Well, you know that Holland and the Netherlands are the same country, yeah? Yeah, that always throws us for a bit of a curve, but whatever, we're going to liberate wherever we see them Natchies, we're going to come after them. Alright, well, I guess we'll see what happens here on turn 2. Okay, the end of round 2 has seen some interesting developments here. Klaus, take it away.
Ja, und take what away? Just tell us what happened. Ja, und we had a wonderful battle here in East Poland, and we were able to destroy everything the Russians had there, and we took no losses whatsoever. And we also were able to take the down here in Egypt, and that was nice. The British rolled over for us, as they say. And our fighter went back to Crete, because I think we'll need the extra movement if he wants to take part in any sort of activity next turn. Our U-boats took a little bit of a kick in the schnoodles here. We had the effect of breaking up the Allied fleets, though. We were in the US zone here, and the British convoy zone here. And we were there until the British got their money, so they were down £5 there. Unlike me at Christmas time, I'm usually up £5. So, yeah. And we are still here in the Russian convoy zone, which is we think is a very good idea. And our 2 U-boats in the Bay of Biscay are just waiting to strike out at whomever is needing the striking out too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy, is making these fleets stop after one turn, and they got to keep their transports back here because they don't want these U-boats coming to kill them. So, yeah, that's a good strategy, Klaus.
I know, that's why I did it, stupid. Okay, you just gotta be a nicer guy. You're in Canada right now, right? Yeah, that is unfortunate. It is so cold here. Wuss. You think this is cold? Wait till you get to Russia. Now, Ivan here, I'm sure you got some things to talk about. What's going on here?
What a good time we're having. We were able to take back the Baltic states, and we took with such force that the Germans had no idea what was happening, and we annihilated them. For the loss of just a few expendable Russian troops. It was nothing really. But we also have many of our tanks left over, and we are sitting pretty, as is being said.
Yeah, you guys are looking pretty good there. I guess you still got your guy down here in the Middle East. I guess he's rushing to help the Brits. It's kind of a...
So do you write your own material?
All right, moving on to the Brits. Nigel, I can't help but notice you got American bombers there, but no British bombers. What's up with that?
Yes, those nighttime raids do take a bit of a toll. We did lose our bomber, trying to hit Jerry a bit here.
Yeah, unser name is Klaus.
And so it's very unfortunate that we lost an entire bomber wing, but we will rebuild when we have the money. But for now, we'll rely on the Americans, who are fortunate enough not to get too many bombings in, as they are too far for the German aircraft. But we did build another destroyer and another transport and some more men here. So for the inevitable landing somewhere on the Atlantic coast, not exactly sure where yet, but we're going to nibble away at the U-boats and then make the landing.
Well, we look forward to that. Tex, what's going on with the Americans?
Yeah, well, we had a little bit of trouble then with them U-boats once again, so we had to come on out here and save the lammies here. Took care of them U-boats there, and well, they took care of ours up here, so I figure turnabout's fair play. And but we're tooling up again here. Built another couple destroyers and transport, and we're going to start shuttling fellas down maybe to Africa or head on over to Frank here and see if we can help them out.
All right, well, folks, there you have it. Things are heating up here in the Axis and Allies game in Axis and Allies Europe, the 1999 edition. We'll come back with the end of round 3. All right, just like the other rounds, we've had some very interesting developments here. The Eastern Front, wow, some really big tilts here. Klaus, what's going on there, buddy?
Ja, und we had some minor setbacks, but also some fine victories by our German forces. We took the Ukraine, and we had a lot of guys left, but the Russians have more guys, because that's all they do is make the guys. And they took back the Ukraine. It's some armor left, but I think that our forces here in eastern Poland will make short work of them. But we shall see, because they have more guys, as you can see.
Yeah, I see Baltic States. There's just one fella in there. Looks like you guys had a really successful attack.
Yeah, and we did, and we stopped when they had but one tank left, and we did not take that area, for we did not want to have our nose too far out in the wind. So that's what we did.
So what is that? Is that something that Germany normally does? Because usually you guys kind of go for the throat, right?
Yeah, but we have that one in the playbook as well. We call it the German sneak of not taking the territory trick. So we don't take it when you think we are going to take it, so we don't fall into your meager little trap here. And the Baltic States is only worth 1 ruble. You cannot do anything for that. So we did what we did. And we had some success in the Atlantic, although we keep losing U-boats. we are still here in the British convoy, but the Americans sank and the British sank one. We did sink a British destroyer though. But as you can see, it looks as though the Battle of the Atlantic is lost. So we may have to forego building any more U-boats for now, as they will just be sunk as soon as they are made. So I think that we'll be putting more on for the land units, and the Russians are very happy about that, I should think, yeah? You know, we don't really get happy about too many things, but this is something that we are going to have to do, so we are going to do. All right there, Ivan. Looks like you had some success here in Ukraine. You got your tanks there being led by your infantry divisions. Wouldn't you want to have it the other way around? Have the tanks go first, and the men kind of consolidate the victory? Perhaps, but the tanks, they take a long time and many rubles to make. The men, not so much. It's not so difficult to make the men, and is more fun, I think. Yeah, I've heard that somewhere before, but alright, well, looks like you still have some good reserves here built up in Stalingrad and Belarusia, but you are looking a little thin up top here. We'll see what happens there. Also, looks like Klaus here, you had some fun in the Middle East. You're taking $2 now, one for Egypt and one for Syria, and the rest of it looks wide open. But the Russians do have some mobile units here. We'll see if they survive this round. So back over to the Atlantic. Looks like America, your light one bomber again. But first, Nigel. Look, things are looking a little up for you guys now, eh? Yes, quite, yes. Although we do have a pesky undersea boat. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Doesn't really fit into the Queen's English, as it were. I believe it's the King's English at this time in history, though. And we do have a number of destroyers, and we will be making short work, as they say, of the U-boat in the Channel, and then on to France. Ons? Yes. If that is a proper British word.
I don't think so, but whatever. My name isn't Nigel. Alright, Tex, what else is going on here for the Yanks? Well, you can see we built ourselves a good old-fashioned BB there, big old battle wagon, and we're going to start ferrying stuff across and, yeah, take care of them there pesky U-boats, because as you know, in this version of the game, you don't even need a destroyer to attack a U-boat unless you're just attacking it with planes, and then the planes can't see at all. So, yeah, we got ourselves a battleship, so even if a U-boat gets a lucky shot in on us, we'll just tip that sucker, keep on firing, and then tilt her up right at the end there of the turn. So I figure we're going to be alright now, and we can start putting our money into transports and just getting fellers over. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. Looks like you're down a bomber, though. Yeah, well, what can you say? We did bomb them for a good nickel there, but yeah, we done lost ourselves a bomber. But we'll say it's the freebie that we had at the beginning of the war there, so we ain't nearly lost nothing that way, right? Well, it's a good way of looking at it. Plus, looks like your destroyers have had some success against the U-boats here, no losses. And yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. Turn 4 coming up. Alright, a very destructive round 4. Fritz, get us going here.
Ja, und we have taken the Middle East in its entirety, so we are making all $8, which I think the Americans paid to us.
Yeah, that's right. We're used to it, though. It's alright. We'll just raise taxes, or, I don't know. Maybe we'll sell Hawaii to somebody.
Yeah, I do not think you own that yet. I think it's 1959.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure something out.
Ja, und so we went here and we took the Ukraine, destroyed all of the 5 tank divisions, but then the Russians, with all the babies that they make, were able to take it back. But we did not mind so much because we saved the Luftwaffe, and they are getting much thinner here. Except for Leningrad, lots of people there, so we'll have to do something about that. The U-boats are all but gone. We just have the one in the Russian convoy, which I think is probably doomed at this point, but what can you do? The Atlantic Wall will have to be built up, I think. But who knows? Maybe we will be eating in Moscow shortly, but time will tell, yeah? Yeah, I think it's looking kind of weird here. You know, you don't have a lot of Russian stuff left to face you, and their economy is getting kind of savaged a bit, but you are also kind of depleted here. So we're going to see. You're probably going to be a few turns of rebuilding for both sides. Ivan, what do you have to say about all this?
Not too much. We are exactly where we want to be at this time in the war. And we think we are just about ready for our winter offensive.
Well, not sure with what.
It's big secret. If I tell you, I am having to kill you.
All right, don't tell me. Britain, what's going on here, Nigel?
Yes, quite well. Things are looking rather up at this point. We have our meager navy here. We had a larger navy last round, but as you can see, it is all gone, and all of these boats are the ones that were up by Canada. So we are again rebuilding in order to get our Anglo-American landings going here on the coast of France. What?
All right, well, good luck with that, but looks like the U-boat threat's pretty much nullified, so that's good. And Tex, here comes the US of A, eh?
Yeah, it's looking a little light right now, but don't you worry none. We're going to get on over here, and we're going to keep on bombing them Nazis, and we're going to be dropping some fellers off. Maybe in Norway, that there's open right there. That'd be a freebie, I figure. So we're going to see what we see. You see?
I see. All right, so, well, with the Germans having total control of Africa and the Middle East, and the Americans and British looking like they don't really care about that, we'll see what happens on turn 5. All right, turn 5 is complete, and oh boy, things are looking a little dark, except for the sunshine coming through the window, which lights up the board and puts long shadows across the face of the earth. Or something, maybe not quite so dramatic. But you will see the my shadow. Hey, how's it going? Maybe we can do the thing where I do the bird. Can I do the bird thingy? I can't get the angle right. There it is, but it's up on the... You can tell I'm bored here. Anyway, this is what happens when you don't get a lot of sleep. So welcome to the life of a teacher. So anyway, lots of territory being taken by the Germans here. And let's talk to Klaus here. Klaus, what's going on?
Ja, und wir are having our way with the Russians here. And we have taken Archangel. So the U-boat here is a little redundant, but there was nothing for it to do. So we are going to make them come and get us, which will put them out of position, which is fine with us. So we shall see what they do. Ja, and we traded the Ukraine again, back and forth, but they are taking more of a pounding than we are. And our Middle Eastern troops are ready to invade the Caucasus. And we built a ton of stuff here in Germany in order to combat some other unpleasant things, which we will discuss in a moment. All right, Russia. What's going on there, Ivan?
Things are looking very good.
But you've lost like some of your territory here, so I don't really see how it's good. And Siberia looks like it's going to fall, and nothing you can do to stop that. And now the Germans, since they have your factory in the north, they can build a unit every turn out of there, so...
It's not a problem. We are going to hunker in the bunker and we will be just fine.
Alright, well I hope so, buddy, for your sake. Your sub here had a little bit of fun. You sank that German transport.
This is good. There was nothing for else to do, so he's going to go and perhaps attack Mr. U-boat, but
he will probably just submerge just to be that pesky German.
All right, probably Nigel. Looks like the Brits have a toehold here.
Yes, we've decided to land in on the continent here to give Jerry something to think about. And we have many more troops coming in. You can see that we have many transports, and things are looking much up now for the Allies.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta agree with you on that one. Things are looking pretty up for the Allies. No more German bomber. And, yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. They had a lot of money to spend last round, and next round they'll have a lot again, thanks to the Middle East dollars. And, you know, Jerry's down here. But Tex, hey, looks like Operation Torch is in full swing. Yeah, well, we figured we ought to get some good stuff in here, so we done gone land here down in Morocco, and we got ourselves a couple of destroyers to help out because, well, you got your German tin cans there ready to come on over and cause us a bit of grief. So we'll see what we see. You see? Yeah, we've done that one. I figure we got these two destroyers here just to lend a hand should we need it. And we got some more transports there to bring some fellas on over. And we also gone and took Norway. It's a little chilly this time of year, but you know, I figure we can go help out our Russian friends here, and yeah, who knows, maybe liberate some more of them Nazi territories there. And we got to some bombing there as well. We were able to bomb the Germans. Tune of another nickel, so that bomber there, he's already paid for itself, so we're pretty happy with that, and you should be. Well, folks, looks like the Germans are going to have to kick it into high gear here if they want to take Moscow before even more Allied troops land on the continent. Shaping up to be a great game though here, and we'll let you know how turn 6 goes in just a moment. Well, things continue to roll here for the Allies. They have, again, they've swept the U-boats clear. But there is a battle here that I wanted to do on camera, so we're going to see how this goes. So the Americans have 4 destroyers and a bomber. Now I'm using these specially made dice. The ones are white dice, white 1. Blue 2, which means there's 2 hits on these ones, okay, and then green and 3 kind of go together, and then black and 4 and red and 5. You don't need the red ones today, but we've got 4 destroyers and a bomber, so then we can roll those up and we'll see how many hits we have right off the bat. And we got 3 hits on the German fleet. Let's come back to the German fleet then. We've got a tip, 1, 2, 3. And so the Germans get to reply with a 4 for the battleship, a 3 for the destroyer, and a 1 for the transport. They are not all alone in this game. They are like fodder. They actually defend. Okay, so we got 2 hits against the American fleet here. So those are gone, and then the Americans will take a couple destroyers because, hey, bombers, pretty useful in this game. So now we have 2 green dice and 1 black dice. So we have 2 green dice and 1 blue. So the 1 black dice got the hit on the battleship. See if the Germans have an answer, and they don't. So that's it for the German fleet. And I've already put all the build on. So this was from England, so it came 1, 2, 3, so it can go back. Okay. And I've already put the build on for the Americans. I just thought I'd show you that one little battle for the South Atlantic here and going into the Med. Alright, so lots of stuff happening, and I think we're really close to a possible ending here. As you can see, there's lots of action, so Klaus, let's take it away.
Ja, und we have almost surrounded Moscow. And we have taken the Caucasus, and we are about to take Stalingrad and Turkestan, Ukraine. We are going to own everything, and perhaps even this turn we'll be able to take Moscow, but I don't know. It depends on the air defense. I have 4 fighters. I lost 1 in Leningrad last turn. But the homeland is very strong.
we have decided to keep it very strong back here, so there's no little move by the Allies that will take us unawares. And yeah, we are going to hold on to the German and French areas to the bitter end, I think. Well, we'll see. That bitter end might not be far away. Ivan, what's going on there, bud?
I don't know. I think I might have to go someplace else because it's not good for me to be here. I should probably go someplace else where there is less, losing.
Well, you haven't lost yet, and you never know. I mean, you've got a fighter in there, and he's got some tanks, but not much cannon fodder. So, and if your anti-aircraft can pump out a few shells here, I don't know, it could be a different ending than what you think might be happening.
Perhaps, but the Allies were not quick enough to help.
Well, looks like they've done some pretty good things here. Nigel, you want to catch us up to speed on the British?
Yes, well, despite Ivan's protestations, we have been able to secure Denmark with a rather large stack of troops, and there are many more to replace them when Jerry obviously will destroy them. But with our brilliant move, we were able to do, I believe, what is called a can opener, to allow the Yanks to come through and secure Poland.
Yeah, we thank you for that one there. That there was a sweet move, and we're all feeling really good about that. Guess we got to see what happens. I don't figure them fellers are too long for this world, but yeah, I got some arty up here in Finland. They're probably going to just kind of chip away at the Nazis up there a little bit. And we got these fellers here with a couple of transports. They can head on in here to northern Italy. So, I guess you better not give that away, because old Klaus is standing right over there again.
Yeah, I see what you're doing, but these 4 troops are going to be a one-hit wonder, as you say. And we will disintegrate them or something.
Well, we'll see. We got ourselves a bunch more fellers are going to be coming on over. And we got our transports moving things back and forth. So I figure we're looking pretty good here for the Allies, but Moscow's looking like it's, it's in a bit of a heap of trouble there. We're going to see what we can do about it. All right. Well, that's turn 6, folks. Turn 7, we'll tell the story. Well, we might play one more round here, but it's looking pretty bleak now for the Allies. Moscow fell, and quite convincingly as well. Klaus, you wanna take us through it?
Yeah, it was not so terrible. We went in and the single round of combat, for we had lots of the tanks there. We had 7 of the tanks, and we had, we had 6 of the tanks, and 5 of the planes, and infantry. So yeah, we were able to do our stuff. And the poor Russians, they just did not have the horses, because they had eaten them. Alright. Yeah, looks like that's going alright. You got some problems on the other side. We'll take care of that in a second. Ivan, looks like you might have been right about that, to take off here. Well, what's going to happen now? I have an appointment with Comrade Stalin this afternoon. I believe he's going to promote me. He said I'm going to be going to higher place. So that is not so bad.
Okay. Well, hopefully catch you later there, Ivan. Nigel? Looks like the Brits are doing their thing now, finally getting some Anglo troops on the shores.
Yes, we had a smashing success here, attacking France, and we only lost a couple of troops, easily replaceable as we see. And Jerry is very weak in France. In fact, he has nothing in France at all. He pulled everyone out of Netherlands, Belgium, and back to Germany in order to hold Denmark. So you can see how our attacks although they have disappeared, they have caused Jerry a lot of concern.
Well, let's see if it's enough concern. Yeah. Tex? Yeah, well, when Jerry took back Denmark there, he kind of stuck us here, so we grabbed our artillery there and a bomber from England, and we done gone and took Poland. So the bombardment and the bomber were really the key factors there, and we killed ourselves 4 German tank divisions. So that was pretty fair. Got ourselves a couple bucks out of it too. But I figure, you know, Klaus has got tons of steel there, so yeah, we're probably going to die. Yeah, I can see that, and you're probably going to lose all this stuff up here too, but who knows, maybe the Brits can take it back for you. I see you're creeping across Africa. Yeah, we don't know if it's that whole too little too late thing, but yeah, we got ourselves a few more things that we're building up, and looking forward to, you know, threatening the soft underbelly of the Third Reich there, and we'll see what happens. And you know, failing that, maybe we can come on over here and take some of Jerry's money, and so that we don't have to pay it up no more. Well, we'll see what happens, I figure, on the next turn. That's what I'm supposed to say. But yeah, you did all right. Well, looks like the end has come. Although, to look at the board, you'd think that the Allies were doing okay, but actually the game was over at the end of last turn because the Germans held Moscow until their next turn, which obviously starts the round. So it was over. We played it through anyway, so the Germans took care of the last pesky Russians, and the Brits landed in force here in Netherlands, Belgium. So there's quite a contingent here, and the Americans were able to take southern France here, Vichy, France, without a single loss. But looking here, you can see that the Germans just decided to spend money on a navy, because why not? And they're going to own the Med again here pretty soon. The Americans lost 3 transports here on the U.S. eastern coast to that lone sub, and then their destroyers went and sank the sub. But they're behind a turn again, and now the Germans are just basically going to be able to hunker down and yeah, just ride this one out. Now, the Brits and the Americans together are making more than what the Germans are making, not double or anything, but especially this year. This is a $16 swing every round, so that's pretty nasty. And these American troops who are here, the Germans will put a big build in northern Italy, and that'll be it. So, looks like an Axis victory. Not as convincing as some of them, though. This one here, as you know, as we look at France, you know, that's looking pretty good. But as the rules state, if you can't take Berlin or liberate Moscow, then that's it for the Allies. But from Klaus and Ivan and Tex and all the gang here at the Hilltop Pillbox, thanks so much for watching. And remember to hug your loved ones and just enjoy life, folks. Have a great time. Celebrate all the things that you should, and you know, just cheer people up. Anybody you see, just cheer them up. Have a great day. Spread the love, and may the dice be with you.